Hey guys, Datix here. Before you set sail in Black Flag Resynced, here are the most useful tips and tricks on the internet, in my humble opinion. After fully completing the game, these are what I wish every captain knew before leaving port. They'll make your journey smoother, help you avoid missing some incredible hidden treasures, and make sure you get the most out of your adventure. The timestamps are below, so hoist the colors and let's dive straight in. Upgrades to your existing sword and gun are extremely hard to come by, but I have a solution. Very early on, you will arrive at the Great Inagua, your pirate island hub. At the manor on top of the hill, you'll be able to talk to Bernard. He'll give you a quest for portraits. They're relatively simple to collect and find, and even place in your manor, and once you return to the island, you'll be able to finish the quest and get a legendary sword for doing so. This sword will increase your damage output drastically, but best of all, it makes you deadly at range. Typically, your pistol shot is limited by your ammo, but if you hold attack instead of a heavy swing, you'll now fire pistol shots from your swords that consume no ammo, making some fights almost trivial. You'll be sticking with this sword for a majority of the game until you save enough money up, that is, which I'll go through soon. Saving up the level of money you need to upgrade will take some time, considering the fact you also need to upgrade your ship to stay competitive. So where do you get the portraits? Well, you can find them on the map with this little icon. Just pull them off the walls when you get there. But the quickest way I found was to raid warehouses. You just have to find the keys around the search perimeter, and they can be raided for a decent amount of cash and often trade goods, a map, and or a portrait. I found I finished the quest for the pistol sword without even realizing it just by raiding these warehouses. Early on during the main missions, you'll arrive at the Great Inagua, which is a hub for you to build out with new areas and shops. You can also upgrade your manor and adorn it with weapons, items, and paintings you collect on your journeys. Now, though it would be tempting to drop all your money here, let me advise against it. The mission to finish upgrading the island only gives a cosmetic, and most of the buildings offer very little. Protection money, for example, is minuscule even when fully upgraded. You get more from a single warehouse raid. No, you should save your money for ship upgrades and powerful gear, which I will go through soon. Ship upgrades will eventually require the Harbour Master to be upgraded, and the best gear will require a general store to be upgraded, which should be your first port of call when it comes to upgrades in town. After settling the Great Inagua Island, one of the buildings you can purchase and upgrade is the General Store. Try to get this to rank 3 ASAP for a total of 15,000. Inside, it has the best gear in the game. It has gold trinkets, guns, and this sword, the Order of Gold, which has one of the highest total damage outputs and increases your max takedowns to 3, which you can see clears enemies with ease. It also automatically fires when you perfect dodge against an enemy, most of the time completely killing them outright. Like the sword I mentioned before, it also fires pistol shots at range for the heavy attack. So once you save up enough gold, 44,000 total including the shop, this will be a sword you will never need or want to upgrade. Also note you can buy a treasure dealer in the town as well, who can stitch together map pieces, but also on the next tab, you can buy legendary weapons and trinkets for a cost of trade goods and animal hides. So if you're doing a lot of exploration, chances are you can cash something in here. If you have the standard edition of the game, your first pet can be found at the Great Inagua. On a roof in town is a cat who you can tame and add to your ship. Very easy.
There's rats aplenty on the jackdaw.
Though this is a remake, Black Flag has quite a few new additions. You get access to 3 new officers for your ship, which is started via a quest line here in the hub town. They upgrade your ship in particular ways, provide banter, and eventually come together and set you off for what feels like one of the best missions in the game, but to avoid spoilers, I won't talk about that anymore. Just know that you can further help them once recruited, and that sometimes leads to ship improvements like new mortars. The final officer comes later in the game, so don't worry if you don't see the Dead Man's quest appear for quite a while. His power is well worth it though. When you unlock the Ram ability by recruiting Padre, you can use it after softening up smaller ships. This will often finish them off outright, but if it doesn't, your ship will naturally slide next to the enemy, letting you unleash the broadsides, then instantly holding the button to board the ship. This is useful in a large-scale naval battle because, thankfully, all enemy ships will stop firing upon you if you board an enemy. Once you lower the enemy's morale, you can use their ship to repair yours, getting you back in the fight better than before. An easy, repeatable way to take down an entire armada by yourself. Your front-facing cannons are good to use against enemy sails to slow the ship down, but every other weapon should be used on the enemy's hull. What that does is open up weak points. If you target these weak points with the right bumper, the crew will fire upon them with the swivel gun, dealing massive damage. So what I like to do is fire on hulls, detonate weak points, then perfect parry incoming fire. Perfect brace. Now it's time to talk about boarding. I mentioned the swivel gun, but it turns out you can use it against the enemy ship as well. When you let go of the wheel, walk up to the swivel gun to your left or right. You have one on either side of you with 5 rounds. Use it to detonate the explosives on board the enemy ship before your crew swing over there. You don't want to hurt them as well. Detonating explosives will drastically lower your enemy's morale. Once ammo is depleted, you can walk up to this and swing on over to the enemy ship, as long as it's not a man o' war, which is far too tall to swing onto. With these ships, you can instead make your way over to the lift and swing over from higher ground, or mess it up while recording and just jump over there instead. You get the point. Sometimes you can get lucky and an enemy is below you for you to drop upon. These methods are by far the best and quickest way to clear an enemy ship. What seems to be one of the longest ways to take an enemy ship is following the morale-lowering objective of cutting an enemy ship's flag. It takes a while to climb up, and if there are any range enemies that spawn in, they will make your life difficult. In the same period of time, you could have cut down many enemies, dealing the same or a better morale hit to the ship. Avoid the cut. Now when morale is low, you have the option of repairing your own ship, lowering your wanted level, and sometimes the option to take a captain's chest or capture the ship for your fleet. Adding a ship to your fleet lets it be used here. You can send them on missions. I found that this, even when invested into, doesn't provide high enough rewards. You're often spending your own time and resources repairing ships, which offsets a lot of the value. It's a bit of fun, but don't expect to get rich from your fleet. Normally I'd tell you to play the game the way you want, but that gets tiresome. The truth is you should rush through the main questline until after you finish your first fortress capture. At that point you'll have access to your ship's cabin, wherein you can send your captured ships on missions and claim the rewards all from a convenient place. It sure beats going back to the Great Inagua, your hub, every single time. In towns, you'll often run into events that have a broken chain icon on the compass. These events have you saving potential crewmates from being executed. They're kind of like puzzles. There's almost always a way to kill all enemies quickly, as if you don't, enemies will avoid you and try to attack the prisoners first, killing them quickly. So take your time and assess the situation first. Speaking of being patient, the game's combat systems reward you for it. You aren't going to get very far fast by mindlessly attacking enemies, as their guards will deplete slower than you can execute them for an ill-timed attack. You see, when they attack you, time your parry, and if you get it, you can instantly kill an enemy. Depending on your sword's limit, you can follow up that execution with another and even another. Some attacks flash red though, usually when you attack their guard too much or against the brute enemies, and in which case you can't parry them and will need to dodge. Dodging at the right time also provides an opening to retaliate. If you panic, that's when you'll die. Take a breath and let them come to you. Even better, let them kill themselves. You'll often find enemies throwing bombs at you. It's easy enough to use that to your advantage by skirting enemies towards them, or you can use your hookshot to pull them into their own bombs. Now, the hookshot can be used in combat to bring enemies closer to you for a sweep, but its best use is manual targeting on pesky enemies who have the high ground. If close enough, you can pull them off their perch, which instantly kills them. Well, I guess the ground instantly kills them. I think Anakin would have beaten Obi-Wan if he simply had a hookshot. In the middle of combat, lingering in the back somewhere may be an enemy preparing to shoot you. If you see the option to grab an enemy as a human shield, always do it. Not only will it instant kill the enemy grabbed, you can completely avoid damage. It feels a bit like cheating. In Black Flag, you'll jump off many heights without having a conveniently placed stack of hay or leaves below you. When that happens, simply press dodge right before hitting the ground and you take no damage. Very simple. Scanning is useful to find your target, yes, but always keep in mind that killing scrubs is a suggestion, not a requirement. You can skip past all of them easily and assassinate your target, if you're up for it. If the enemy is near a cliff, it goes without saying, have some fun. Kick the bastards off. Surprisingly, it keeps you stealthed, as their screams don't seem to rouse other enemies' attention, but you can also do this in combat. Plus, it's hilarious. Your scan will be your most valuable and powerful asset in Black Flag. Not only does it scan and highlight enemies through walls at a surprising distance, it also marks valuables like chests. If you hover over enemies or the dot shown, it will mark it for you even when you close the scan. This means not only will you be able to stalk your prey like a jaguar, you'll not miss the easy to miss valuables. This is especially important underwater, as finding where you need to go has an extra access to explore. While undetected, even if you think some enemies can see you, chances are they don't. You can get to them quickly and assassinate, or dive into some cover or bushes just in time before you're detected. The game is quite forgiving. You could also play confidently and quickly, dashing about and killing everyone quickly before they have a chance to meet the short window before detection. If you are detected, you can employ the use of smoke bombs to keep the assassination train going, to thin out the herd or make your escape. The game treats the smoke like you're undetected again, so don't forget you have this option in combat. It's almost as easy to forget as holding the button down to throw change on the ground, which I actually have completely forgotten to do. When trying to be the stealthiest assassin in the Caribbean, use your environment as much as you can. There's always conveniently placed bushes and stacks of hay or leaves to take advantage of. When inside a stack, you can whistle your enemies over and dispatch them quietly. A lot of the time, enemies close by won't notice their friends going missing. When in bushes, whistle enemies over and assassinate them to pull them into the bush. Just like the stack, this will automatically hide the body, so when around groups of enemies, they will be none the wiser, often coming in close so you can assassinate them as well, leading to a chain of assassinations you'll not believe you got away with. Let's take a look.
better now. I'll get you.
No one gets away. Hello. Gotcha. You can't outrun fate.
Here's a likely spot.
Now, while you can use the environment to hide, don't forget you can leave enemies fighting each other to essentially kill each other. Animals will often attack enemies, as well as British will often fight the Spanish. Sometimes it's best just to let them soften each other up.
Let them fight.
Trinkets are quite hard to come by, so make sure when you're scanning you take note of the gold icons. Sometimes there'll be chests with a small amount of cash, other times there'll be items like trinkets.
It's a good likeness, though.
So scanning makes finding animals to hunt easier. You can then come at them in melee, but this will be the hardest way to take them out. You can shoot them, but the larger beasts will take more ammo. The best way to hunt animals is by using your sleeping darts. One dart and the animal goes down. You can then walk right up to it, assassinate it in its sleep, which is very ethical, and then skin it to make your pistol strap or eye patch or whatever.
Not bad.
Sleeping darts are obviously very useful when you want to stay hidden. Most of the times you'll be forced to reveal yourself, as taking out a target will be seen by a guard not too far away. So send that guard not too far away to a faraway land. Kill your target, then make sure the Sandman comes a-calling. Now pressing the button again switches to berserk darts, and they sound great in theory, but unless you're planning on storming past a group of enemies simply don't do enough damage to each other to make the berserk darts useful in stealth. Everyone will be aware of what's going on. It is fun to watch though. If you have a hankering for a hunt of a particular kind, you can find what you're looking for on the map. Well, more specifically, if you press filter on the map, you can easily find each exact location of what you're looking for. For example, here I can mark all the Mayan ruins I want to search that I have currently revealed on the map. It's easier to stealth at night, and it's easier to explore during the day. Hold down the whistle button to change the time of day and make, depending on what you want to do first, much more convenient. Be careful when blowing up explosives laden about ship decks and fortresses. They are incredibly tempting to set off, as doing so perfectly can destroy legions of men. Most of the time though, your loyal crew will be nipping at your heels, and as you can see, blowing up barrels next to them can and will kill them, reducing your total crew count, which you'll need to replenish.
Your last mistake, mate.
The auto-follow feature on the jackdaw is quite good. It will avoid collisions and correct itself, so go make a coffee or tea and come back to your destination.
Keep our eyes open for one.
Abaco Island isn't far off.
When walking around the maps, Captain Kenway may talk to himself about a location or hidden chest.
Where have I seen this place?
When this happens, take note of the island you're on, then open up your menu. Head into the codex and look for a treasure map on that particular island. follow it for your chest. It will usually contain some cash and a piece of gear or upgrade.
Good stuff.
Raiding and capturing forts reveals a lot of the map, gives you areas to quick travel to and launch your fleet from, but make sure you upgrade your ship to take on these challenges. Though when you reach the final enemy on foot, usually the fort commander, don't waste your time fighting him and his squad. Just shoot him right in the face ASAP. It will instantly kill him and cut to the fortress capture animation. Much easier.
I started blasting. Bang!
So here's a bonus, some random clips I found funny. Here I hunted down and killed the guy who robbed Bonnet and brought his corpse to him, and this is what he had to say.
Did you catch that rogue?
Aye.
You gotta love dying to invisible hazards. Keep an eye on this ship, it's soon to be destroyed by a whale.
A jolly bunch, eh?
Sing a new
Human
song.
blocks broadcasting. Seems to be survived. Search for.
Whiskey is the life of man.
So that's everything. What do you think? Hopefully after this video you're more confident setting out to the seas. Thank you for making it this far, and until next time, ciao friends.